Hello and welcome to the Weather Hazard Briefing produced by National Weather Service Pocatello for Sunday, November 19th. Here's what you'll see in this presentation. We have rain and snow continuing today and during the overnight hours tonight. Should peak in intensity this morning in our western half of our forecast area and during the afternoon in the east. And then the intensity, it'll start lightening up, and then around 1700 in the west, it should fall off dramatically. I mean, we're looking at maybe just a dusting left for the rest of the evening. And in our eastern portion of our area, by 2300, it should also reach that kind of category. We're also looking for some very windy conditions with this storm. Eastern Magic Valley and the South Central Highlands are actually going to be under a wind advisory today. That would include the I-84 corridor and the Goose Creek Valley and the state route that runs through it. The wind should increase first in Cassia County around 0900 this morning. Then it should spread eastward to Power and Oneida counties right around the noon hour. And then wind should end tonight, again late, along with the snow around the same time, about 2300 in that area. And then the next storm, winter storm, will arrive late Wednesday night. Will peak during the day on Thanksgiving Day, and it will be producing snow at all elevations. But fortunately right now it looks like it's light snow. Even in the mountains, it struggles to get to 3 to 5 inches. All right, well, let's look at the storm today. Here's a satellite image. You can see a nicely well-defined line of cloudiness with the lower clouds underneath it. And this is what's producing our rain and snow for today and tonight. Looking out into the Pacific, here's a storm that will be coming in on Thanksgiving Eve and continuing into Thanksgiving Day. So that's when we have to look out for as well. So here are the current warnings, watches, and advisories. So focusing on our area, there is this wind advisory, which means winds in excess of 30 miles an hour with gusts in excess of 40. And then over here we have a winter weather advisory, and for this Bear River Range zone, that means that we're expecting anywhere from about 6 to 10 inches of snowfall during the period, which would be for us, it's just over about 24 hours. All right, so here's our outlook. You can see most of the weather is front-loaded here on Sunday. So rain and snow likely, and windy or very windy for a lot of locations, mostly centering, as you can see, on the Magic Valley and the South Hills. The Southeast Highlands also will see some rain and snow, and that's where the snow or the winter weather advisory is in that area. And then the Sawtooth area, snow and very windy on the ridges. But so it's fairly limited on where it will be very windy there. And very windy would be winds sustained in excess of 30 miles an hour and gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour. And then most of the other locations, you can see mostly in the Central Idaho Mountains, it's AM rain and snow for the most part, especially in the Lost River and Wood River. Rain and snow is likely in the Snake Plain. And Lemhi County is categorical, and that means an excess of 80% chance of rain and snow. All right, so here's a horizontal weather map showing where this low is and where it's driving through. This is at 5 a.m. this morning, where it was at the time. You can see the cold front moving through, and that's what's going to generate the winds behind it, which will be out of the west, and those will be the strongest winds. And you can see it's a mixed precipitation. It's mostly due to elevation. And so you can see, for instance, that western Magic Valley and Treasure Valley, it's an all rain event today. But once you start getting to 4,000 feet, it's going to be a rain and snow, either changing over or it's going to be developing by elevation. So here's what happened last night. You can see pretty good snow, getting to the 4 to 5 inches, mostly west of I-75, and mostly in actually our neighboring office, Boise's area. And for us, you can see 2 to 4 inches or so in the Wood River Valley, in the mountains east of the Wood River Valley, and lots of light snow elsewhere, mostly in and along the major thoroughfares, with the exception of the pass areas where they might get up to an inch of snow. It's mostly been 0. Low temperatures or trace. Low temperatures this morning, you can see they're going to be mostly in the middle 30s with all the cloud cover in the Snake River Plain, Eastern Magic Valley, and then in the fairly mild for the mountains this time of year, mostly in the 20s for the Central Idaho mountains, and then in the highlands, it's upper 20s to mid 30s. All right, so this is what's going to happen now from now until 11 a.m. So 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. we are looking for this kind of snowfall to develop. You can see it is already starting some light snow here in the Bear River Range and places south of the Burley area, but it's pretty high elevation and it's not affecting the roads there really, with the exception of this road here that goes over the pass here down into the Almo area. And then, so the focus this morning is definitely in Central Idaho mountains. You can see pretty good here at Galena Summit. We're looking at 2 to 3 inches on the summit during this time period, less than an inch down in Stanley Basin, and still a lot of areas getting just a dusting of snow at best, if any. And then for the afternoon, temperatures warm a little bit, but you can see the focus is sort of shifting over into the southern and eastern highlands, although it's still going pretty good, but mostly in the higher elevations here in the Central Idaho mountains. And then during the evening hours, you can see it definitely falls off here in the Central Idaho mountains, but it does get cold enough where we'll actually see something in the Snake River Plain, mostly in the higher elevations around Craters of the Moon National Monument and the INL property, Arco, lower portions of the Wood River Basin. And the focus definitely now shifts over to especially the southeast highlands, not so much in the Island Park area. Focus is definitely more on the Bear River Range and the Caribou Highland areas. And then after 11 p.m. tonight, you can see just, a skiff of snow maybe developing in Minidoka, American Falls area, and then anywhere from east of Island Park all the way down to the border with Utah. All right, so wind gusts this morning, they should start out strongly. By 9 a.m., we should start seeing these gusts to 40 and 50 miles an hour in the eastern Magic Valley, and you can see in Cassia County area. By the afternoon, that will spread eastward. You see it also picks up over the ridges in Lemhi County and Custer County and Upper Blaine County as well, with gusts, again, at 30 to 50 miles an hour. But you can see we're actually looking for just light wind. Well, not really light winds, but at sort of average to maybe a little bit of breezy winds in the upper Snake River Plain and in the upper Snake Highlands. Then this evening, it does finally spread into those other areas up in Spencer and DuBois area. Some pretty good gusty winds. And then late night tonight, you can see it just continues. So there's really not a whole lot of let up during the overnight. All right, so high temperatures today, we are looking at mostly the middle 40s, as you can see, for the Snake River Plain areas, even 40 in Stanley. So even there, you'll see a change over to rain. And then here, and the weather pattern, at least for the Pacific Northwest, doesn't change much. That high pressure is going to stay in for a couple of days. And so during that time, we have overnight lows tomorrow morning. You can see much colder, single digits in the Stanley Basin, a lot of 20s in the Snake River Plain where the clouds sort of hang on. And you can see the winds still remain kind of gusty, especially in Cassia County. And then high temperatures on Monday afternoon, not quite as warm. It'll struggle to get to around 40 degrees for the Snake River Plain. You can see, though, the skies are already clearing, and Stanley will be actually warmer than a lot of Snake River Plain locations at 43. Tuesday morning, you can see now with the skies clear, teens and 20s in the Snake River Plain. Stanley Basin down to 12 degrees. Lots of teens and single digits also in the Eastern Highlands now. But then Tuesday, that's when the northerly winds shut off. We're more westerly winds. You can see we're already starting to warm on Tuesday. So that's all I have. If you have any further questions, you can always contact us at this telephone number here or check out the weather yourself at weather.gov/Pocatello. Thanks for watching.